Lolly ho, internet. This is the Orpig coming to you. And today I actually got asked a question of what's the different kind of diets, what's my take on them, and what's my calorie intake as far as training goes. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is talk about the different diet plans. So I've done a couple of diets, I guess you could say, but never really stuck to them hardcore. The intermittent fasting was the one diet plan that I stuck to that I found actually worked for me. So y'all know what that is. So I did a Google search for the different kinds of diets and kind of educated myself on what they were. Now, you know, a lot of this, what it comes down to is what I believed when I started doing my intermittent fasting was that at the end of the day, it comes down to eating less calories than what you're burning to lose weight. You want to lose fat, it's about eating less calories than what you're burning. Now, there's different ways to go about that, and there's different programs that you can do to achieve that goal, but ultimately, that's what it comes down to, okay? And I talked about counting macros in another video, and so that's a good diet, I guess you would say, or a way to keep track is with macros. But anyway, let's talk about some of the different diets. I'm going to save the one I like the best for last. But so there's all kind of different diets, right? First you got the Atkins diet, which many of us have heard about because this was the big fad that everybody was going on. And Atkins is basically eating little to no carbs and eating as much protein and fats as you want. Just watching how many carbs you eat. And this is really good for somebody who doesn't want to move, doesn't want to sit around. The problem is this dependency, I guess you could say, or this addiction that we have for carbs. I mean, almost everything is carbs. I mean, the greatest store in the world to go to is a bakery, which is nothing but carbs and breads and stuff like that, right? So that's what the Atkins diet is doing. It's saying don't eat the carbs. The carbs cause you to have a spike in insulin, which is used to break down the sugars, because carbs are quickly turned into sugars in your body. So your body has to process those sugars, and so it increases this spike in insulin to do it. At least this is how I've read it. I'm not a doctor, but so it increases this spike to deal with these sugars that you've taken in. But then if you don't expend them, if you don't do anything to burn that energy, then it ends up quickly storing it in the fat, because that's how your body stores energy, okay? Unused energy is stored as fat. So that's why Atkins diet kind of stays away from the carbs. And you know, for a while I preached not to do this, but I've done more reading and I've educated myself more as I've gone along. So the Atkins diet is really not that bad, and it's going to play into the last one, which is my favorite one. So I'm going to get to that one. Another diet that I found is called the zone diet. Now, the zone diet tells you basically, if you got, you know, your plate, that you want to fill up 2/3 of that plate with carbs. Now, hold on. Not bread carbs, okay? Carbs actually also come from fruits and vegetables. The difference, the biggest being fruit. A lot of people are like, don't eat fruit because that's sugar. Well, it is sugar, but here's the difference. It's a natural sugar. So what I've learned is that processed sugar that we love, right, that's in candy and M&Ms and white bread and stuff, this sugar, it comes into your body and it fools your body. Basically, it's already processed sugar that your body doesn't have to have insulin to transport or digest or whatever it is it does to it. So it increases the spike in, it does the spike in insulin, because it's like, oh my goodness, you're ingesting sugar. I need to deal with this. I have to process it. But then once it gets it, it goes, oh, I don't have to process it. It's already done. Well, now I've already created all this insulin. So what am I going to do with it? I'm going to store it as fat or something bad for you, right? I think ultimately it turns to fat, because that's how we get fat. So what this does is, yeah, you're filling up 2/3 of your plate with carbs, but they're fruits and vegetables. So all fruits and vegetables, these are natural sugars that your body will spike to deal with your insulin, but at the same time it will properly digest them and properly utilize that energy and that insulin, because it's used to dealing with foods. And this just goes back to, you know, trying not to eat processed foods. So they tell you want to fill 1/3 of your plate with protein, you know, meats, cheese, fish, things of this nature, eggs, and then the other 2/3 of your plate you're going to fill with your vegetables and fruits, whatever they may be. And then you get a dash, just a little bit of fat. So it really limits your fat intake, which, they show the picture here is, your nuts, almonds, walnuts, pecans, and avocados, and I would imagine coconut oil, things of this nature that are high in fat. And even though we're taught we're told, they're not that bad for you. For this diet, you don't want to do that. For this diet, you're eating mostly fruits and vegetables and meats, and that's called the zone diet. All right. The next two are vegetarian, vegan. Look, I've seen plenty of individuals that have gains with vegetarian. It's not for me. Okay, vegetarian is easy. You don't eat meat. Most of them don't eat fish. Some of them go so far as to not eat any kind of food substance that comes from any kind of animal, like milk or eggs, anything of that nature. I don't believe in it personally. I think that we need meat. Do we need it as much as we eat? No, probably not. But it's not. It's something that I enjoy, and so it's not. But it's not hard, because I tell people all the time, have you ever seen a fat vegetarian? And the answer is no. You're not going to see a fat vegetarian, okay? Somebody who's a real vegetarian, who strictly eats, nuts and vegetables and fruits and things of this nature, their body properly processes it, because vegetarians do not eat much processed food, and so the body is able to properly digest this food that's just grown from the earth and eaten, and so they're going to end up being healthy, So that's an easy diet, right? No meat, no no cheese, I guess, if you're doing it that far, to eat nothing that comes from the animals. Okay, so easy diet. Next one is Weight Watchers. Now, so there's three diets here I'm going to group together, right? They're South Beach Diet, Weight Watchers, and Nutrisystem. Now, Nutrisystem and South Beach Diet are pretty much the same. And these diets are basically, hey, buy our food. Buy our food. We're going to tell you how much you can eat. We're gonna make it easy for you, right? I'm going to package you a thing. I'm going to give you a list, and I'm going to say you get to eat one entree, and you get to pick from any entree that you want. You get to eat one entree, and then you get one snack, and then you get one. And so it's an organized diet for you, both Nutrisystem and the South Beach Diet. That's all it is. They probably have different foods. I'm sure they got their own little different program that they want to say that they do, but ultimately it's just them prepackaging your food, and it's them exercising portion control on you. So if that's your thing, that's great. My problem with that is it tends to be pretty expensive, because you're buying their food. You have to buy it all from them, and I'm not a big fan of processed food. Yeah, I eat it every now and then, just like everybody, but I'd much rather eat my food that's fresh. I like to go to the grocery store once a week and just stock up on the stuff that I need, just so I can eat it fresh and not this processed food. A lot of that stuff's processed. Now, they can say what they want, that they take it immediately and cook it and freeze it, but at the end of the day, it's got preservatives in it to make it last longer, because they need it to last inside the supermarket and make a profit. So, not a fan of those. Weight Watchers, on the other hand, yeah, they sell their stuff to you, but they also give you a list. Now, Weight Watchers is good because, like I talked about earlier, right? It's all about counting your calories. It's all about intaking less calories than what you're burning. Now, for some people, or a lot of people, that kind of gets confusing, because you're eating anywhere from you're trying to eat anywhere from 1,200 to 1,500 calories. If you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to eat about 2,000 calories ish, depending on your body type, your body weight a day. And so, how do you do that? Well, you got to count all these calories, and it's in the thousands, and each one has a different one. What I like about Weight Watchers is they simplified it and just said, we're going to give you a point system. So instead of you saying, I'm going to go, I'm gonna cook my food, and I'm gonna eat this, and this, and you add it up, and you're like, okay, that's about 720 calories right there for my food. Weight Watchers you'll do the same thing. You'll look your food up in their app or online, or however you're gonna look up the food that you're gonna eat, and they just assign it a point, and it's a much lower point system. So, like, say you eat a meal that's like 720 calories, that might be like 7 points or 8 points on a Weight Watcher scale, and you can have 25 points a day. So it easily helps you calculate where your calories are at, basically, by doing a much lower point scale. So now, instead of saying, oh my goodness, I'm at 1,200 calories, you might be like, oh, well, I'm at 8 points, and I can eat up to 25 points a day, so that means I still got Bear with me. Was that 12 and 5, 17? I still got 17 more points to go to eat. And so, you might look and be like, hey, I can cheat a little bit. I can eat me some M&Ms. How many points are those? Oh, if I eat a handful, that's like 5 points. Okay, I can afford it. So it keeps it easy for you, and you don't have to buy their food. They offer their food. They say, hey, look, we got it prepackaged for you, and this is 4 points a bar. This is 2 points a bar, whatever it may be, or this meal is 6 points. So they help you keep track of it, but at the same time, they've gone ahead and made a list, and they even have restaurants and everything in their app to tell you how many points it is, and then you keep it down to points. So it's an easier way for you to count your calories without actually delving into the whole thousands and thousands of calories. You're dealing more with 25 to 30 points a day that you got to deal with. So it makes it a lot easier. The next diet I want to talk to before I get to my favorite is the Mediterranean diet. Now this diet pretty good, right? So I looked it up online, and they use the typical pyramid, right? Like, I don't know about y'all, I don't know how old y'all are, but when I was a kid, we all had that pyramid when we were kids, right? The bottom of the pyramid, the most you were going to eat was carbs, crazy nowadays the way things are, and you were going to eat 4 to 6 servings of carbs a day, and then you were going to eat 3 to 4 servings of vegetables, you were going to eat 2 to 3 servings of fruit, and you were going to eat 1 to 2 servings of your meats and proteins, and dairy, and then at the very top was your sugar, salt, and fats, which was basically candy, right? And you were going to eat a very, very small amount of that. So with the Mediterranean diet, on the bottom you've got fruits and vegetables, grains, beans, nuts, basically anything grown in the earth. Okay, you want to eat. You want to fill up on this stuff. All the stuff that's grown from the earth. Lettuce, spinach, apples, oranges, broccoli, cauliflower, walnuts, red beans, white beans, pinto beans. All these things that are grown from the earth. Hey, have at it. You get free reign of that. Now, per week, I read they want you to have anywhere from 1 to 3 servings of seafood. Fish or seafood, 1 to 3. It is a Mediterranean diet, right? That's what they got there, a lot of fish. So you're going to eat 1 to 3 servings of seafood. You're going to limit your amount of poultry and eggs and cheese. And that's the second to top tier. And then the top tier, right, where you're really restricting yourself, is meats and sweets. Meats and sweets. So they really don't want... The diet plan that I read for this said basically about twice a month you can eat meat. All right, so you're really restricting yourself on meat with this, and I would imagine if it's twice a month with meat, then you should only eat sweets once or twice a month. You should do that anyway on any diet. But the Mediterranean, again, focus more on the stuff grown from the earth than anything else. Now the last diet, the one I've been researching a lot, and the reason being is because a lot of bodybuilders are doing this, and right now we're moving into the season where bodybuilders are getting ready to do their contests, so they're in prep phase right now, which they've been in prep phase since probably February or March. The people that I follow, so they've been on their diet, and most of them I've been reading do this keto diet or keto. I don't know, KETO. All right, it's ketogenic diet. And so I was like, oh, what is that? So it basically it's grouped in with the Atkins and the low carb, but they go a little bit further in explaining it. So this is straight from the website, and I'm putting links to all the diets in the description, all right? But with this diet, all right, it involves drastically reducing the carbohydrate intake and replacing it with fat. The reduction in carbs puts your body into a metabolic state called ketosis, all right? When this happens, your body becomes incredibly efficient at burning fat for energy. So instead of converting those carbs to energy, your body learns to start converting this fat and using it for energy. It turns the fat into ketones in the liver, which supply energy for the brain. Ketogenic diets can cause massive reductions in blood sugar and insulin levels. So, really good for diabetics, which I know when you got diabetes, the first thing the doctor tells you is, stop eating carbs. This, along with increased ketones, has numerous health benefits, and then they go and they list all the health benefits. So it's back to that low carb intake. But what I found really interesting about this diet was the fact that your body starts to burn fat like it would carbs. Now, here's the hard part, though, is there's an adjustment phase, right? Which I talked about that before with any diet. Is, you know, like with me, with intermittent fasting, or when you first start to diet, a lot of times you'll gain weight. Not significant, but you'll gain a little bit of weight. And that's because, you know, that your train's headed in one direction and you're trying to take it back on the tracks and go the other way. And it takes time to slow that momentum down. But the body, like with weights, right? Like we talked about, where if the body is the most incredible machine on the earth, because if you need it to pull 12 horsepowers and your body can only push 10 horsepowers, if you continue to try to push 12 horsepowers, your body, excuse me, your body will adapt and be able to pull that 12 horsepower, okay? Same thing with this. If you continue with this diet and keep doing it, your body is going to adjust and start burning the fat. But there's an adjustment period. So you are going to feel sluggish. You are going to feel like crap. You're really going to miss your carbs because you build up that dependency to it. You know, I find, like right now, like I've cheated on my diet like 3 days this week already. And that's because I've eaten sugar. And when I eat that sugar and I eat that candy, my body craves it. It wants it again, okay? And it wants it sooner and sooner. And a lot of times I give in, and I've been weak this week, okay? And I've given into that desire for that chocolate. And it's because by feeding it that, I'm allowing it to slip back into that stage of wanting it, okay? Just like any other addiction, just like, you know, smoking cigarettes, drugs, or anything like that, your body starts to crave this chemical product that you've put in it. Your body starts to crave it. And that's how, you know, for me, that's how chocolate and sugar is. For all of us, that's how carbs are. We have been eating carbs our whole life. They're great. They're wonderful. I love them just as much as you. But you got to understand, if you choose to do this diet, okay, you're gonna feel sluggish. You're gonna go through an adjustment. Your body's just not gonna instantaneously start pulling fat and converting it to energy. It's gonna wear down first. It's a stubborn kid, right? It's that kid that you sit down at the dinner table and you say you're not moving till you eat the broccoli. Well, you tell them that one time, they're not gonna go okay and then eat the broccoli. They're gonna sit there and they're gonna challenge you, and they're gonna wait, and they're gonna push your buttons and push your limit. And that's what your body's gonna do to you. Your body's gonna say, no, I'm not using the fat for energy. Like, sorry, you're just gonna feel like crap. I'm gonna show you that you're not gonna feel good. So you have to fight that urge, and you have to force your body to burn this fat for energy. But from my understanding with this, and I haven't done it, I'm really interested in trying this. This might be my next step. It is, once you get past that stage, your body will become an efficient machine at burning fat, that it won't even be looking for carbs. Now, the hard part, again, is going to be not introducing carbs back to your body, because if you do, then your body's going to go dependent on them again, and it's going to want them again. But if you can severely, and look, it's impossible to get all of them out, right? But if you can severely limit that carb intake, and I think if you can mix it maybe a little bit with the Mediterranean diet, right, with the vegetables for carbs and everything, and natural occurring carbs, that your body would become very efficient with this. So I really like this diet. Like I said, all the bodybuilders that I follow are doing this diet. They preach about it, and they follow it to do their cut before they get onto the stage. So it seems like a really good diet that I'm really interested in. So I'm gonna wrap up this video here with the diets. I'm gonna do another one next on the second part of the question about how much do you intake when you're training. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. I know it was informative for me just to look up and research all this stuff. So be sure you like, subscribe, and I'm gonna put that other video out tomorrow. Y'all have a good day. Bye.